Top chokeout number 5.
Comb. This weapon here is absolutely one of the most dangerous weapons you will ever have in your life. Right here, a comb. A lot of guys carry it. I don't use it as much as I used to, but a comb will keep you alive. Different kinds of combs out there. This is a pretty solid comb. Be careful when you're training here. Very devastating. Let me borrow Jack because his neck shows a little clearing. When this comes up here, and we'll talk a little bit as we get slammed up against walls or whatever from here, he's got it, boom, say something, nothing happened. He's got a neck this big. This comb's coming straight up. You're looking, it's going to push here. When it pushes here, let me turn, then it's going to flick. It's turned, and it's going to cut. Very simple. He thinks he's got his throat cut here. It's very here. Didn't kill the guy. He didn't kill the guy. But I promise, or you can slam it forward here, and you're always going to see me move up. And when you take a comb and go across someone's throat here, it's absolutely frightening to what his mindset will be. I'm not going to get into throwing him yet because we'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm not going to how we dump someone down. But as you notice, as we get to here, we're always here. Now, he's here for a second because my focus is not on this man. Because here comes trouble. I'm already back into this person here. Your mindset has to be somebody else is coming. And you got a wife, maybe it's his girlfriend or whatever. She's got a knife or a pool cue or whatever. Your mindset is on that other person.
Hey, Jimbo here with a quick announcement. What if you had a handful of simple moves that could end a fight in a couple of seconds, even against larger, stronger men? Well, that's exactly what I've got for you. And it's yours for free from the link in the description. 15 ultra brutal fighting moves that are surprisingly simple to learn. Outside the U.S. Special Forces, not a lot of guys know these. But when it hits the fan and your life is on the line and you need something truly nasty to end a fight in a couple of seconds, you're going to want to know these. This brutal hand-to-hand training is yours for free. Just get to the description below and click on the link. Okay, back to our video.
Top chokeout number 4.
Whenever you get beside a person in front of them, you've got 3 areas you need to worry about. You've got the air, you've got the blood, and you've got the jaw. This creates a lot of pain right here in his jaw. So if you can cut off the air and the blood at the same time, you can cause a lot of damage to this guy real fast. Normally they'll pass out in maybe 4 or 5 seconds. I mean, that's just the way it goes. So you have to learn how to get your hands around him. Now I'm going to use both Dale and Judy because he's so big that Judy can't even get her hands around his neck. And we're going to do a triangle choke on this case. When he throws that hand out, like we're just doing, we're going to bump this shoulder right up into his throat here. We're going to pass right on by it. As we pass by him this time, we're going to put a crank right over here in the side of his neck, and I got my bicep along the bottom of his neck right in here. You're going to grab your palm like this, and then crank it in like so. And they'll usually pass right out relatively quick. So the way that works is we might sit here like this. When he jabs or punches, I'm sliding in. I may even take a little shot in route, pick him up here, grind inside, and bring him to the ground. All right? What you want to do when you get this choke in here, guys, is you want to reach around, grab your hand like this, forearm in, and then drive the crank, which is the outside of the wrist, right through the neck right here. You got a good nerve section here, plus you're going to choke them out. So when they swing at you, you just dip down and go here, crank and turn, and just take them right on down. When you get this crank going here, I've seen everything coming up from this to all that. The crank is real simple. I'd like to grab the back of your hand right here, put the side of your forearm in where your real bony part, and you just roll it right up into their nerves. It also cuts the blood off to the brain. So you go over top of your hand here, pull them in real tight, and then you just crank like this. Now just have a real hard time staying on your feet, right? You feel that? Okay, good. We're slowly getting where we want to go. If you'll notice, it's very important to get the right kind of grip. Don't try to rush through these things at the house. You've got to get the right grip. Now, to set this whole thing up, what we want to do is, say, for example, he rushes me. He's a rushing opponent. He's coming with that big hand. I'm going to sidestep him here. I'm going to put the crank, and I'm going to take him right on down to the ground here. And I'm going to sit on my knees and crank him out. See, I've still got that very same crank in here, guys. And all you do, when you get this position, this arm helps the choke, and then you just pull into it like this, right? Okay. When they come, go. Here, spin them down and around, and then choke them out. Okay, nice and easy.
Top chokeout number 3.
Lastly, I'm going to cover the t-shirt chokes. Now again, these are not fancy t-shirt chokes or gi or collar chokes that you've learned before. These are very crude and basic uses of the t-shirt to choke your enemy momentarily, to gain distance, to control him, to scan for other enemy, that do work for us. We've proven them, we do them overseas. Number one, we have the front choke. When we're inside and we're controlling him, all I'm going to do is take his t-shirt or his collar or whatever clothing he's wearing, I'm going to wrap it in front of his throat and I'm going to push him back. This is just going to control him for a second to where I can look at where my secondary threats are at. Again, we're locked up. I take whatever clothing I have, I crank it in front of his throat. Notice I'm holding on to the clothing in the back. I pull this toward me and I push these two parts together and I pull him to me. I hold him tight and I start looking for my other threats. I break him away and that's when I start hitting him again. Just a momentary uncomfortable choke to gain control of him. We have the side choke. Once we're controlling him, my hand may reach across. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that collar and I'm going to take his t-shirt, pull it to the side, control his head. You notice we can grab the other t-shirt or the other part of his shirt or collar, whatever he's wearing, control him, pull those together, pull him in tight to me so that I can scan for my second enemy and look around before I break him away and just start hitting him again. And finally, we have a rear collar choke. I may be in control of him, he may move, and he's going to spin. I own him because I'm going to take this collar and I'm going to pull it in tight. You notice I got the other collar on the opposite side. I can do it from the rear, I can reach around, I can do it from the front. And I can gain control of it, pull him in tight to where we're not going to the ground, to where I can look for my secondary threats, break him off, and just start controlling him, hitting, and driving him down. So again, the purpose of this choking techniques is not to grapple, but it's to gain momentary control of my enemy so that I can control him, scan the area for secondary threats, push him away, and lay the hate.
Hey, don't forget about those 15 brutal fight enders. This training is yours for free from the link in the description. I honestly don't know how long the powers that be will allow this stuff on their platform. It's pretty over the top, but it's easy to learn. So get to the link in the description right away.
Top chokeout number 2.
These are called naked chokes. We don't have to use the clothing. Just in case the person has no shirt on, we've torn the shirt off in a fight, we're choosing to finish this person off with one of our chokes. So the first is called a clasping choke or naked choke. So I'm going to have Joel sit down on the ground. The clasping choke works with the blade of my arm. I'm going to insert the blade of my arm across the neck, palm up, blade of the arm comes across, clasp my own hands, head beside his head, and right now we're just going to look for the tap. You okay? Okay. We don't want to smash anything in there. It's a very painful choke. It does a lot of damage to the Adam's apple and to the airway. So we want to be very careful practicing this with anybody. Again, palm of hand on the shoulder, inserting blade of the wrist across the neck, clasping my hand, and squeezing straight back. And again, in real life, no reason for the tap out. We're going to take him until he's unconscious.
Top chokeout number 1.
One of the sweetest places to be whenever you're doing an NHB fight, street fight, anywhere, is being on your opponent's back. Because once you're there, you're usually assured that's going to be it. Just throw in your naked choke, take the tap, boom, it's over and gone. But the more people know about escaping, the more they're used to seeing videotapes such as this, the more they get some experience on the mat, the more they're going to hold out against this. So we need to make sure we have some options to back us up, to make sure we come right back into the naked choke, or find another way to pull them out of this fight. We're going to go from lots of things are done. Once we know we got him belly down and my hooks are in, I can start punching the back of the neck to finish this fight out. But I can also take him, if he's smart, he's going to roll and try and come out belly up. We call this a cradled out position here. And we still set for the same naked choke. Make sure naked choke's round. A little bit of anatomy on this naked choke here. I'm going to cut off both carotids at the same time. I want to use my bicep across one carotid and my inner forearm on the second carotid as well. So I got his trachea right here in the crook of my arm. I hook up in the bicep, make a fist, or just use the like a blade hand the back of his neck. What I'm going to be doing from here is, it's just not me squeezing my elbows together. This is strength, not good enough. This guy can last that out. Hold it out, no good. What I want to do from here is make a rowing, pushing forward motion with my chest, like if you're doing a seated row. Whenever I send my chest through, that's going to be the pressure that finishes up the choke. So again, if it's just arm strength only, put the chest pop in, that's it for the choke. So we take it, it's the same principle no matter what position you're in. So whenever I have them in the cradle position here, both hooks are in tight. Again, my feet aren't crossed. Digging these in tight, I drop them back, push the chest through, take the choke. Now, he can take the pressure off this choke by using both his hands to grab against my forearm that's around his throat. And I cannot, even with the chest pop, pull him out. So I have to take one of these dogs out of the fight here. I'm going to take this hand, go underneath his armpit, and hook through the top. Using a 5-finger grip, get a hold of his wrist. Once I'm hooked in here, I'm going to remove his arm. And I can't just do it with static tricep strength because most of these people are a lot stronger than me. Again, 156 pounds here. This isn't going to work. So if I'm just pushing tricep, nothing. So I have to think about a big, quick, ballistic burst with my arm. Whenever I push it down, I throw this leg over the top to retain this arm, come right back to that same naked choke. Hit in with the choke. So again, he's resisting it. Weave underneath his arm and then through the groove. Hook the wrist, 5-finger grip. So I can have my palm right on top of his forearm. I'm going to ballistically shove in to remove this arm, throw the leg on top to retain it, then reset the naked choke. Boom, and hit. Now, let's say we get a problem here. Let's say we get some guys really strong, and even without the bursting through, I'm going, you're like, damn, I cannot move this man. So I'm going to keep this grip on his arm. I'm going to bring, since he's obviously putting all the pressure in and not letting me have his arm, the arm that's around his throat, I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to slide it out. Once I slide it out, I'm going to bring this outer forearm blade to the outside of his neck. My right foot hook comes out and is posting on the mat. What's going to happen is I'm going to shoot my hips towards the ceiling. And then whenever I know he's a little bit light in the sky, I drop my hips down out from underneath him. I get myself perpendicular beneath him. I'm going to push away against the side of his neck, throw my leg over the top, and then pull out either an arm scissors or into a standard straight arm bar from here. Here's how we set that up. During the choke, he's blocking me out. Weave underneath, hook it in. Too strong for me to push him away. Slide this arm out, shove across with the outer blade of the forearm. Post on the mat, push him away, leg over the top, either arm scissors or the arm bar from here. Now, some people come out of this cradle position, but they'll underhook your leg. Go ahead and just reach underneath. What they're going to do, go ahead and come all the way up. They hook all the way underneath and turn directly into. Pretty smart thing to do, actually. We got a way to stop this up. I'm going for the choke, get everything set up. I've already have this hook in. Whenever he starts to come underneath my leg, I'm going to let him take some momentum. I'm going to allow this leg to come all the way up to his shoulder. I get on top of his shoulder and stop it here. I take and retain his arm with me, and I go ahead and hook up my triangle from here. Once I have the triangle, I'm going to go ahead and take the straight arm bar and squeeze into my triangle, taking the head at the arm bar at the same time. Boom, take the hit. Look at that again. Come around, he's resisting. I set up, he's trying to scoot it out. Let the leg come on top, retain the arm, set up the triangle, put the squeeze in the triangle, and take the arm bar. Right there. One final way to pull him out of this whenever he's trying to come out the back door. Get everything hooked up. And I don't happen to have a retaining grip on his arm here. He just starts coming out the back door right now. So I still let this guide to the top of his shoulder. Once it's at the top of the shoulder, I'm going to allow, this is my right leg on top, my right arm's going to come around, grab a hold of my shin. I'm going to take a leg scissors choke. From here, all I'm doing, set up for a moment, is grabbing my own shin, not the foot, too much flexibility, give on his neck, grab the shin, and thinking about shoving my elbow across to my knee, creating a little scissors motion right here. So again, set up the choke, he starts to come out the back door, let it glide to his shoulder, come across, switch, and then from here, lean it in so we can see, explode that view there, and hit. There's the shot. So once you get this guy with a belly down or belly up in this cradle position, you get several nice ways to go ahead and finish him up.
Final notice about the 15 brutal fight enders. It's simple, easy to learn, and devastatingly effective training taught to special forces, but typically not to civilians. You can get it for free in the description. Just hurry. I doubt this is going to be around for long, so I'll see you over there.
Thanks for watching our video lessons here at TRS Direct. Hit the like button down below and consider subscribing to our channel here on YouTube. Hit the bell icon and we'll send you a notification when there's a new lesson available. Thanks again for watching.